as a young girl, just 20 I got engaged, 21 got married. And when I got into this life, it was a slap across my face, literally.
Hi to all the beautiful women out there. Today, for International Women's Day, I, Smita Paul, founder of BTG, is here bringing you a WOW podcast channel for women. It's not WOW WOW, it's not VOW WOW, but it is WOV WOW. WOW means a voice of women. We are here to voice your emotions, your challenges, and your inspirational stories so that you can reach out to other fellow women who are treading the same path as yours. So today we have an amazing leader and a stay-at-home mom who's been a great mother and a wife with us to share her inspirational story. So let's hear from Mrs. Sneha Srinivasan.
Thank you, Smita, for the lovely introduction. Um,
So could you please share to our audience what do you do and a brief introduction about yourself?
yeah, it's very simple actually. I'm just a wife, a mother, a woman. Uh,
Just
yeah,
just is not the word to describe us. Definitely we are more
yes,
than
yes,
just.
definitely, yes. It seems so simple, but there's so much. We are so complex. We are so uniquely made by God. And I have enjoyed every aspect of that. I have enjoyed myself as a woman. I've enjoyed myself as a wife. I have enjoyed what I have done. And being married for over almost 30 years now.
It's a long journey.
Yes, very long journey with lot of its ups and downs and mountains and valleys and but here I am, yeah, just doing what I have to be doing to the best of my ability.
Amazing, amazing. It's a pleasure to have you on my podcast channel as a first interview. I'm really thrilled to have you and honored.
I'm thrilled as well.
So, Sneha, I would want to touch on the topic on how you were as a young adult. I'm so sure as a young girls, we had a lot of dreams, that we see ourselves like happily married to some, very handsome guy or well-to-do or somebody who's very romantically involved or loving husband. And even career-wise, we would want to, grow up in our careers. What was your aspiration? What you dreamt of as a for someone as a husband or as a family life?
Hmm, as a young adult, yes, I was still exploring. I just knew I would be working with people. So this was in my heart, connecting with people. So I remember my subject in my plus two was psychology.
Okay.
So it was always there, the ground. I think the calling is part of what God makes you desire also.
Yes. I believe every individual who is born has a purpose in life. I'm sure you would be have your own calling and purpose in life. Would you like to share with us?
Sometimes when we think of purpose, we think of something grandeur, something so spectacular. But for me, my purpose is as a daughter of God. I feel so seen. I feel I'm precious to him. And, just having that day-to-day connection with my God and drawing strength from him, that is my main purpose. And the other purposes as a wife, as a mother, is my secondary purpose, which is my priority. And everything else comes after that. And my person and my no, the purpose is where I find joy in. What is God telling me at this point? And even forget about what He's telling me to do or whatever. Where do I find joy? What gives me joy? What gives me meaning? Is to connect with other people, other families, build them, see the best in their lives. That's my purpose.
Amazing. I would like to add to that because it's so difficult for everybody to think like you because I have been a stay at home mom when I took a career break as well as I've been a very career oriented lady. So till now, I cannot sit at home and, if you ask me to be a stay-at-home mom, I feel I'm not called for that. It's so difficult for me. I feel, what am I doing? I'm not losing the purpose of life. God has made me for something else, and I should be doing that. I'll attend to all the chores of my family. I'll be there when you need, but not at the cost of, not doing anything apart from just the family. So I really salute that and I respect it.
So then, when it came to my marriage, it was totally unexpected. I was just 19, and it
You
came.
got married at the age of 19?
No, no, no. But the proposal came at the age of 19.
Okay.
So I was still in college, and I was just trying to see what next. Would I be studying further, or would I be working? What kind of a training next? And so this was the scenario when the proposal came in. And for over a year, I think I kind of stalled it. I was still not sure of myself, still not sure what direction I would want my life to go. And, I was just praying about it and seeing where God wants me to go. And that was the time when a common friend brought my husband's proposal, saying, I feel you would be, a good, perfect fit with what is happening. Coming a little bit of background with my husband, he came from a very wealthy family, a business family. So from a young age, grown up with a lot of money at hand, because he was working as well in his family business, so he had money in hand. So got into a lot of addictions, and got into wrong company. Basically got derailed, and but had a powerful encounter with God. And that was the place he was in, where he wanted to give back to the community, get back his lost years, and help people and do a lot of mission work, and basically do community development.
Amazing.
So that was the time he was he was already involved in this, inspiring people, giving talks and all this, when I just finished my college and I got it. So this was a scenario, and of course I loved people, but when I got married, I think it was just an overdose of people for me, because he was already a leader, already involved in this work. And, and as a young girl, just 20, I got engaged, 21 got married. And when I got into this life, it was a slap across my face, literally. And but it was I had to find myself yet again. After marriage, I had to find myself again. It was just again exploring, seeing where I belong, what am I supposed to be doing, who am I. Yeah, because you are dreaming something, and where do I fit in, where do those dreams and aspirations fit in this new life. And already with the strong personality, the strong person, he's already rolling with his things. It's not like he's also discovering, and he's already, it's a full bloomed work that's happening. And for me to step into that was very, very stressful for me as a young girl. There were a lot of tears, and a lot of tears behind the scenes, and a lot of loneliness, because I couldn't talk to anybody. Yeah, it was a process, day-to-day process, and cultivating good friendships around you will support you, help you along the way, where you can also vent at the same time. They will not pull you down, but they will coach you, they will counsel you, they're also encouraging you. You're encouraging one another. So good friendships also helped. Yes.
I can really relate. I'm sure there will be a lot of women who could relate to that. And because in those days, we did not have so much of support and technology, like, you can connect with anybody you want, like over Insta, over WhatsApp, or even over a phone call. I remember, because even I got married at the age of 22. By 23, I was a mom. So 22, I married to him, and we were in Coimbatore. So to speak to my mom, I had to go to a STD booth and dial in. It's not like anytime I want to talk to my mom, I can. And among my friends, I was the only one who got married. So whom will I share what I'm going through? Because they cannot relate to me.
Yes.
So I had to endure everything on my own, trying to fit into a joint family, never been in a joint family. Me and my sister, we were brought up in a nuclear family in Bombay. So we used to go to our extended family's house for vacations and all, but they were never with us. The first time I'm ever going to a joint family, though they were my relatives, but it was very difficult because culture is different, your expectation is different. You're stepping in as a daughter-in-law
Yes.
of the house.
House.
So there's
Yes.
a huge expectation. No matter how much ever you do, there's no appreciation. Nobody is, looking at,
Yeah.
even considering what you're doing. It looks like, you don't exist. And that was too,
Yes.
and I was very young. So I was finding it so difficult, struggling. Immediately I became pregnant. I really felt lonely, though we were married. Like, marriage is supposed to be a journey of togetherness, companionship, but that was not there. I felt I'm going through the journey on my own.
Yes.
I'm growing on my own as a single girl, a young girl, now playing a role of a wife, a daughter-in-law, a daughter, and also soon to be a mom. So it was so much overwhelming, and not a single soul to listen to or talk to.
Yes.
All I had to do is depend on God. So every day, night, I'll just talk to Him, pray to Him, read Bible, and God
Yes.
taught me how to go through that, made me stronger and brought me out of it.
Yeah.
And here I am. So I can really relate to what you
Yes.
are
That
saying.
was
I'm sure
exactly what.
it would have been a great struggle to you. So you had to, completely derail and again fit your back. I mean,
Yeah.
have a new track made
New track.
in the
Yeah.
journey, adapt to what your situation
Yes.
is, what your husband wants, and
Yes.
redefine yourself.
Yes.
That would have been a
Yes.
very painful process.
Yeah.
So now, okay, so then what was that turning point for you where you felt that, okay, now you belong here and you are feeling happy about it. You're out of that, mystery and, figuring out the confused mode.
I think just coming to terms with the big change that has happened. And also, I think I put a lot of pressure on my husband as well. And in those initial stages, I wanted that time. I wanted, like, because I came with that ideal thing picture in my mind saying, oh, husband and wife, we're going to spend time. It's
Yeah.
going to be romantic. We'll go
Yes.
eat out, we'll go have lunch together,
Yeah.
which was not happening actually.
Yes.
So there's a big letdown in your mind.
Yes.
So in many ways it was coming across in my relationship with him. There was that angst, and so that was also drawing a wedge kind of, because I had these expectations as a young girl. I was young,
Yes.
right? For him, he's a leader. He's already, he's thinking big. Oh, he wants to change the world, and all these beautiful things. And it took a while for me to reach to that point.
I would like to
Um,
add to that over here. When we get married, for women, the man is the world for us. We
yes,
just revolve.
yes,
We just revolved around them,
yes,
and we try to adapt and try our
yes,
best to fit into their world. But
yes.
for them, we are part
Part
of
of
the
the world.
world. It doesn't revolve around us. Just one part, one
Yes,
element of their world. That is
yes.
where the difference comes in, and conflicts comes into.
Yes, and he would say that also. He'd say, "See, I have other responsibilities. My mind is all over." Like, for example, we would plan for a meal or something. I'll get dressed up, and then there's some need. Somebody comes into through the doors, and they want his time, and this would get dropped. Of course, over the years we've learned, he has learned, we have learned to do things better, maintain the privacy of our home, separated from all those things around. That's, all these amazing things that's happening around. And right now, of course, I'm aligned with, his way of, things around. I'm proud of what he's doing. Whatever I can do, I do along with him. And there are things that I just release him to do. But I think, you realize somewhere along the way there's peace. You find yourself again. You have to. And that comes, as you said, you prayed. You only had to turn to God, which
Yeah.
is exactly the solution, because God knows you the best. Nobody else knows. Your friends can give you wrong counsel.
True.
That's why I mentioned finding friends and the right
Right,
friends.
friends.
If they are not, if they are single, or they are not, if they do not understand what your home is about, what your husband is doing, they can give you wrong counsel.
True.
It may be the right thing, but at the wrong time, and it cannot contribute to building your home
Right.
and your life. So just finding your place, and the more you interact and talk to God, you suddenly realize there's so much He's put on you personally,
True. True.
right? My life changed when my eyes opened.
True.
I stopped becoming clingy. I stopped getting angry on him that he's not giving his time. I stopped getting angry that he was not focusing on me, and I just learned to release him, So the more I released, the more and more stable I became emotionally myself. And that gave me, the luxury of just looking at my options, what I could do best, and see what I would love to do within the confines of whatever my responsibilities were, my limitations at that time. With young kids, 23, my daughter Karis was born. So you are limited,
Yeah.
you have a young one and you don't have help, and of course, my in-laws were there, helping out and whatever, but that is minimal, right?
Yeah.
Most of it is on you.
Yes.
So you're forced to be emotionally strong,
Yes.
physically strong. You're sick or not, you're up and about, and you have a home. We would have people visiting us, and just to change perspective there.
Yeah.
It's not like earlier it was like a burden.
Yeah.
Why are they coming in? Why are they disrupting our home, our personal time? There's no privacy. And just changing that perspective. I said, we are helping these people. We are building a community. We are raising younger generation. Today when we see them contributing into the community, when they are rising up as themselves as leaders, it feels all worthwhile.
Right.
But at the same time, you have that maturity and you are building your home as well. You learn to do that in a healthy way,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
I understand that. But no matter what, you couldn't do it on your own, in the sense now you're feeling that it was joyful. I mean, it was not like a pain for you, right? You enjoyed even doing that. Initially it must have been difficult for you, but over a period of time you overcame and you were okay with that. Even if you didn't have a private time with him, or even if he didn't give time for you, you were still content.
Yes.
So what is that factor that help you achieve that contentment with your adapt? Because here you're the only one who's adapting. Okay, nobody
Yes,
else.
yes.
Everybody's life is going on
Yes,
as it is, but
yes,
you're the one who's adapting.
Yes. Yes.
So how could you tell that you were happy with that?
First and foremost, it was for me to find my place with God. I said my purpose, my sole purpose. It's, finding myself as the daughter of my God. Not just some random subject in some this thing. No, I am His precious one. Knowing that and building that intimacy with God, and on doing life with God, walking with Him, allowing Him to walk alongside with my struggles, with my loneliness, and just knowing that His hand is there on my head. How as children, when they're crying or their emotions are all over, and as a parent you just put your hand of comfort upon them. That's the picture I get. Every time I have a ruffled feeling, or there's chaotic, it's chaotic and I'm confused. This is the picture I have, where God puts His hand on my head, and there's comfort, and there's that, just that calm, that shalom, that peace that He speaks on my life. This was something that I had to build, because you can lose focus, and you again get,
Right.
you can get frustrated with what's happening around you, but it's intentionally walking and allowing God to walk alongside with you.
Amazing.
That was my turning point, because then, I was in tune with God and knowing what He wanted me to do, not just what were my dreams, what were my aspirations, which are equally important, but it
Yes.
was more about surrendering and seeing what God had wanted to do through my life. And then I saw more fruit.
Amazing.
Honestly, if I would have done it with my own strength, with my own, with the way I want to do it, of course it will bear fruit.
Yeah.
You will do it, you are doing good, 100% you're going to get something there. But when you do what God wants you to do, the fruit is so much bigger.
Very
It's
true.
so long lasting.
True.
It changes the other person's life.
True. That's a great insight, Sneha. Really. Humanly, it is not possible to, do so much and yet be content. So you need that supernatural intervention and that collaboration with God so that the journey, the toughest journey, can be made easier. And also we feel that our purpose in life is also achieved. We don't feel that, oh, we are the ones who have been always sacrificing. We don't feel the victim anymore
Yes.
because we have found our purpose and it is in sync with what we are doing.
Yes.
And also I remember you saying that you always wanted to be part of the people, right? You
Yeah.
wanted to and there you are. So you're already contributing
Yes.
to what you wanted to do. You learned psychology. You're using that in your work aspect also when you're
Yes.
connecting with other ladies out there. What are you doing? You're connecting
Yes.
with people. You're counseling. You're listening.
Yeah.
So all your
Also,
skills and
when we are
interests.
talking about dreams, for over years I was married, and whatever little, it was not like a full-fledged thing. In my 40s, I got the opportunity to study. I did my master's as a family life educator.
Wow.
So you see the whole journey comes in a full circle.
Full circle. Amazing.
And that changed my life. That changed the way I, was helping people. It was such a powerful tool. And again, it was, God enabled me, opened those right doors. And my husband had to, change a lot of things to enable me to be a part of that whole curriculum.
Right.
He had to take care of my son, so it was a shift
Shift.
in roles in many ways. So I want to just encourage these women, life will come full circle. Just surrender yourself to God and you will see some beautiful things coming in and through your life.
Very true. So not a single effort of yours will be in vain. For the Bible says, every wise woman builds the house. So this is where the wisdom you get from. You get wisdom from the Lord. He will guide you in every aspect of your life. He will tell you what to do and what not to. And when you start leaning on His understanding and not yours, that's where you will see wonders happening in your life and you will see a way for yourself. You will have a purpose in life and you will have a contentment in what you do. So here's a message to all the women out there. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling depressed, if you feel that nobody's out there looking at you or hearing you or listening to you or seeing what you're going through, then there is God who's watching you. He's there for you. His heart is all yearning for you. So if you want to know that, you can reach out to us. We are here to help you and hear you and guide you. You're not alone. We are here together in this journey. Thank you, Sneha, for being part of this podcast, my first interviewee. So it's been a pleasure and thank you so much for your insightful story. I'm sure there would be a lot of women who would be inspired by your
Hopes.
personal experience. So what would you like to share with our audience?
Yeah, before we end, I want to encourage any woman, whoever is watching this, do not be discouraged. It's never too late. You're never too old. Whatever trauma, whatever has happened, whatever that has happened, any circumstance, whatever it is, it cannot disrupt what God has for you in your life.
Yeah.
And another thing is, even when you're going through the worst of situations, you can always encourage another person. You can always be kind you can share your love with another woman. You can always do that. I would encourage you. I want you to grow and flourish in whatever you're doing.
So you're not alone. Remember this.